Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 15th, and I am excited to bring you today's episode of Franco's World. I am the host. I am the guy. I am Franklin Miller, the host of the show. Today's show is fantastic. It's episode 23, the Michael Jordan episode, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm going to answer a lot of the listener questions, and today's episode is going to come out later than usual because in the middle of the show, I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to go watch the Joker movie. And then whenever I get back, the last 10 minutes of today's episode or however long is left will be a review of the Joker movie. I'm excited to see it. I only know a little bit about it. I'm not a huge comic book movie guy. I think it's going to be pretty sweet. Joaquin Phoenix, excellent actor. The director, Todd Phillips, he has been a director of a few of my favorite movies. Old School, The Hangover, Due Date. That's all him. He's hilarious. So I'm excited to see how he brings his comedic brain into a movie that has a comedian character, but is more of a dramatic role. Someone is phone call. Who's calling me? Someone was calling me. I was getting a phone call mid-show. I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Either way, I hope you enjoyed today's show just as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. And remember to tell your friends about the show so it can grow and all that jazz. All right, I will see you in a second, and we will get to the listener questions. Starting us off with the first listener question. Pit bulls. This comes from DW. D pit bulls. Misunderstood or bred for violence? Also, what is your fave Pitbull artist banger? I'm going to say from the Pitbulls that I have met, even though they are scary, and I think the owners will admit that they can be scary, I think they're just misunderstood. Now, they very well could have been bred for violence, but I mean, I think it'd probably be up to us to nature versus nurture type of thing. And that's me getting all sciencey on you. I don't really know much about the whole Pitbull. I do know Mr. Worldwide, it's a little chicken Pitbull. Ayo! I like Pitbull, the artist. I'm not talking about the animals anymore. The artist, though, Mr. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305. I gotta look up some Pitbull bangers. I know Time of My Life or whatever with Neo. I know my rent was gonna be late about a week ago. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, why are people calling me? That's 2 phone calls I've gotten in the middle of this episode. I'm just a man trying to do a podcast, a low, small, level size podcast. What is it? Timber? I don't like Timber. Oh, Fireball I like. And Feel This Moment. Yeah. And I'm going to say Don't Stop the Party. I'm not as big on that. But Time of Our Life with Neo, Hotel Room Service, Feel This Moment, and Fireball. Fireball. I want to know how much money Pitbull is making off of residual checks from high school prom DJs, homecoming DJs, weddings. I want to know how much money he's making off the Apple Music checks or whatever from these DJs that are just playing Pitbull over and over and over again at high school proms and weddings. Because it's got to be $1 billion. Every wedding and high school prom that I went to, all 2 of them, Pitbull's on. He's just on. So there's that. I like Pitbull. Let's see. This one comes to us from I Am. Would you ever eat shrimp scampi lasagna? Is that a real food? Is that a real food? Shrimp scampi lasagna. That what? So shrimp got the shrimp. The scampi, is that like the butter garlic sauce? I don't go to Red Lobster often. I know that's a popular thing at Red Lobster. I think my sister used to get it. Lasagna? So it's layered. No, I would never eat that. That's disgusting. I only eat seafood from like near the beach. I'm not near the beach, so I wouldn't do that. I I don't even know what else to say in that one. I also had to pause in the middle of the question, so I'm just going to move on from that question. Next one. Sports question comes us from at Prod Mel Beats. So it's produced by Mel. Mel and the Beat, dropping heat. It's a great producer, good friend of mine. And each beat he posts on his Instagram, better and better. I'm excited to see where he can take this. So he asks, he and I are Miami Dolphins fans, he asks, thoughts on the Dolphins tanking for Tua, parentheses, or whoever the number one pick is. At this point, the Dolphins are so bad, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. Tua looks awesome. Trevor Lawrence next year looks awesome. The secret, sneaky good player in this draft very well could be, what's his name? Hurts. Jalen Hurts. Right? Because everything he does at Oklahoma just looks undefeatable. Jacob Eason from Washington could be the sneaky quarterback of the draft. I honestly believe in Hurts a lot, but Tua's just on a different level. I'm okay with them tanking for Tua. I feel bad for Josh Rosen, who I actually like and who is young, and you could, build around him, kinda. But Tua's just on a whole nother level. I'm fine with it at this point of the year. I mean, they're already like the worst to ever lace him up. So last week, the Dolphins were playing the Redskins, or as PFT from Part of My Take likes to say, the R words. And it was the Suck Bowl, the two worst teams in football, the Redskins and the Dolphins. And so the Dolphins scored super late, and we're going to go for two and try to win, and they screwed that up. Ryan Fitzpatrick was in the game because Josh Rosen stunk. He has no help around him. Like, as soon as he snaps the ball, he has to get rid of it because he's just going to get taken down. And whenever he does hit receivers in the hands, it just pops off their hands, and then the other team just takes it to the house. That's Dolphins games now. I barely even watch them. I was also on the road on Sunday, so I couldn't watch it, thank God. But I did see the 2-point conversion play. So what had happened was the receiver was running towards the line. The Steelers used to run this play with Antonio Brown all the time. Send the receiver in motion. He's running towards the line. Fitzpatrick gets a snap. He takes one step back. He flings it at the receiver running towards the offensive line. And he screwed that up. He hit him in the shins. And he dropped the ball, and the Dolphins lost again. I'm not mad about it, though. I want the Dolphins to get the first pick. If there's a way the Dolphins can get 2 top 10 picks with their other pick from, I forget who, maybe the Steelers, maybe the Texans, maybe the Saints, whoever they traded with to give people up. If they could make that happen, that would be incredible. They have like 9 top 2 round picks or something like that in the next 2 seasons. Like 3 second rounds, 3 first rounds, maybe 4 second rounds or something. I don't know. Either way, it's incredible. I'm very excited to see what I think people who watch the draft are kind of like psychotic because it's just, I don't know. Like, the results are going to be there. Like, you don't have to sit in front of a TV for 7 hours and say, like, what the 33rd pick, the Tennessee Titans select some left guard from Iowa that you didn't know his name. Yeah! Yeah! They're clapping, gives him the hat, gives him the jersey. Oh, it's great to be part of this organization. We worked really hard for this, my family and I. I'm excited we're going to work. Let's go Titans. It's the same thing. You don't have to watch that. I guess I'm excited to see how the Dolphins draft, because they have botched drafts for years and years and years, and then throw big money at free agents. This is the new Miami for the umpteenth time. The new Miami. New England Patriots South. Even though every team does that. Every team does that. They just break a branch off of the Belichick coaching tree, or in college, they break a branch off of the Saban coaching tree and just try to implement those things into their own franchises and organizations, and it doesn't work. All right, next one. VS asks, so you're telling me there's gold in this fish? Shoot. Gold. There's gold in these fish? We about to get rich, boy. I'm about to go to Walmart, snag me up about 20 of them things, flip them. Those student loans are a thing of yesteryear. Goldfish, man. I don't even eat the goldfish snack. I was hanging out with this girl I'm seeing, and she pulled out a bag of goldfish. She's like, you want some? I'm like, no, thank you. I don't like goldfish that much, but they're an okay snack. And she's like, oh, well, these are just regular. And I'm like, okay, well, either way, if you're going to have some, I guess I'll have that kind, but I don't want any. And she's like, no, I mean, like, there's nothing on it. She was eating, like, oyster crackers version of goldfish. They were, like, white. There was no flavor on them. It was just, like, salt, maybe. What happened to regular goldfish? I gotta stop seeing it, right? You can't eat that type of thing and be a normal person. That's a psychotic move. Just get the regular goldfish. Get the plain goldfish without anything on them. That's crazy talk. Yeah, no, there's gold in these fish, Vince. VS. Okay, so last listener thing comes to us from MS. I need winning gambling picks, please. Thanks, XOSO Gossip Girl. Oh gosh, as you know, I had a bye week last week. I made no picks, and I don't know if I'm gonna make picks this week. I don't know. Looking at the lines really quick, two things I find interesting. I'm just gonna go through lines, and I'll just give my first initial take. These aren't me. This isn't me giving out picks. It's just me reading the board. Okay, Virginia -5 versus Duke. Army -6.5 versus Georgia State. Oh, good God. Let's look at this Tulane game. Shall we? They're playing Memphis. I like Memphis. Okay. Memphis or Tulane +4.5 against Memphis. I'll give out 5. That's 3. Virginia, Army, Tulane. Let's see. Hawaii +1.5 against Air Force. I don't know. We all know I love Hawaii football. Oh, hold on. Okay, here's two more. And then I'll give my favorite pick. I'll give the 6th pick will be my favorite pick. Okay, so Penn State plus. Oh wait, no. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I looked at the wrong thing. I was like, why are they? Yeah, they opened as dogs and then they became mega favorites. That must have been a game of the year line. Okay, here I won't give that pick. I'll just give this pick. So my favorite pick of the week is the Wake Forest Demon Deacons -1.5 or 2 or wherever you get it versus Florida State. Florida State is woeful, and I love the Demon Deacons. I love Wake Forest football. I love Winston-Salem, BB&T Field, Dave Clawson, Jamie Newman. I'm just naming people. Nick Skiba, Sage Surratt, their big, tall, wide receiver who's definitely an NFL body. I love Wake Forest football. That's my favorite pick. So, going down the board, Virginia, Army, Tulane, Hawaii, Wake Forest. Bingo, bango. Whenever you win all 5 of those, give me a cut. All right, that'll do it from the listener questions, and then that'll probably be half the show right there. That's around the 15-minute mark. And then I will, when I get back later this evening, I will talk about the Joker some, and we will do that. So remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at FrancosWhat_ and tell your friends about the show, your bosses, your coworkers, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins at Thanksgiving, all that stuff. All right, I will see you in a few hours. Of course, it'll be like right now by the time you listen to it.
And we're
All right,
back.
bye.
And I'm back.
I had just come back from watching The Joker and then coming home and watching every little, whatever you want to call it, breakdown of the ending sequence and the opening sequence and then all this and then the second act and then conspiracy theories and then Easter eggs and what have you. I have seen everything under the sun about the Joker, and I think I'm fully qualified to talk about it for the next 15 minutes. So with that being said, there are spoilers afoot. If you haven't seen the movie yet, go do so. It's pretty good. And I guess just stop listening to this. Okay, so this is the ending. Here is, if you haven't seen it yet, so thank you very much for listening to today's show, and I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was short for you. You can go back and listen to the other 22 episodes, because I'm sure you haven't listened to all 22 in their entirety. Okay, now for the rest of you guys that are still here and have seen it, or maybe are looking for me to review it, and then you go see it, then that's fine. Let's get it rolling. First off, I'd like to say the amount of real-life comedians that were used in the movie is awesome. Okay, because it is a movie, and in this story, the guy is a comedian or wants to be a comedian. So, with that being said, Mark Moran, Sam Morril, Chris Redd, and there's one other one, I forget his name, but real-life comedians all in the movie. That is really cool. Okay, moving on from that. The most realistic thing about this entire movie, is, I guess make it two things. One, he brings his girlfriend to the open mic, and she does not care how it goes. She's watching him through the mirage of she likes him. That's realistic. Two, he bombs. Also realistic. Okay, aside from that, and which we'll get back onto later, the movie is Banana Land, as it should be. It's the Joker, for goodness sake. So he's a clown, as we know, and he gets beat up all the time. He's struggling to cope with his insanity, or his sanity, I guess. He can't cope with that. His job is a clown, ironic in of itself. He loses it because he brings a gun to a children's hospital. Good God. So he loses his job and slowly slips into psychosis. He's an insane person. His mother is also an insane person. However, after watching the movie all crazy, like, it very well could be this movie was made up in his head the whole time. Because let's take it to an earlier scene when he's banging his head on the glass door of the Arkham Asylum. Now, where's the final scene take place in the movie? The Arkham Asylum. Is it a possibility that this whole thing is just conjured up in his insane brain? I think there's a good chance it could be. Because look at all the stuff that's crazy. So this girlfriend that he brings to the open mic, not his girlfriend at all. She was not with him at the hospital when he was visiting his mother, who he eventually killed. She was not there whenever he opened the door. She only knows him as the crazy guy that rides the elevator and barged into her house one time, and she is like, "Are you Arthur from down the hall?" See? They only had like 2 seconds of communication the whole time. She was not with him at the donut shop. She was not with him walking down Gotham City streets holding hands or whatever. She was not there hooking up with him. All that stuff is in his head. So how much of this movie is in his head? You know, he shoots Robert De Niro's character, the late night host, which I thought was crazy. I did not see that coming, how he just pulled out the gun and shot the guy in the head on live TV. Remember, this is the early 80s, no tape delay, so people saw that live if it were real. Obviously, it's not. So he's I could break this down comedian way. Like, okay, so there was that chase scene with the 2 detectives on the subway cars before he went on the late night show. My brain the way it worked for me was, man, I hope he makes a spot in time. Because he was gonna do late night, and I was like, man, I hope he gets to a spot on time. I just wanted to see what he was gonna do. So that show, the late night show with Robert De Niro, was basically a knockoff of Johnny Carson. The curtains were the same color. Okay, you can go back to the curtains, and then McMahon, I think that's the announcer's name in real life, like the guy who announced for Johnny all those years. Here's Johnny. And instead he was like, and now Murray Franklin. That's what the guy's name was. And that is a knockoff of that whole thing. So it's a lot of parallels, comedian-wise, between Johnny Carson and Robert De Niro's show and the thing. Moving back onto the movie. I forget where I was at before I started talking about the comedy thing. That's on me. Anyways, so he's making up this whole thing in his brain. The one thing that his mother, so he just found out that he was adopted, and he goes berserk. His mother is a liar. Or is she? She claims that he is Bruce. No, not Bruce. That's Batman. He is Thomas Wayne's son. That's what his mom claims. And everyone is telling him that he's an insane person, which he is. He goes to Wayne Manor, Master Wayne, and we see young Alfred. We see young Master Wayne. We see Bruce's parents actually talk. And right before the Joker goes on the late night show, he sees a picture of his mom. And everyone, including Thomas Wayne himself, has told the Joker, you're not my son, you're a crazy person. You're adopted. But what does the back of the picture of his mom say? Always smile something TW, Thomas Wayne. Bingo, boom time. So maybe, is this conjured up in his brain? Or maybe he is the unlucky son of Thomas Wayne, which maybe explains his hatred for the Batman. Because he got to be the privileged son. And, yeah. The crazy parallels between that universe and our real life universe is, well, like I said, crazy. The fact that mentally ill people get walked over and laughed at and stepped on all day is pretty sad and truthful. The rich people don't seem to care too much about the poor people. Very truthful. It was weird. And I'm not a comic book guy. I enjoyed the movie. I genuinely enjoyed the movie. I also enjoyed the credits of the movies that are also coming out. But I'm not going to talk about all them. We're here to talk about the Joker, baby. If anyone has seen the Australian TikTok, I'm the Joker, baby. That's pretty funny. What else should I talk about with the Joker? We have 6 more minutes of material to go over with the Joker. I did not think he was going to kill De Niro. Oh, okay, here's one. Whenever he kills... Oh, no, Brian Callen is also in the movie. There's another comedian I just named. So there's 4 comedians. That was the comedian I was thinking about. There's 4. Chris Redd, Brian Callen, Mark Maron, Sam Morril. Boom. 4 real-life comedians in the movie about a deranged comedian. Kind of. And Sam actually did his material where he talks about parking cars and men and women. I've heard that joke before from him. It's funny. It's a good joke. Why is this? This has just become me talking about like stand-up. Come on, get back on the movie. So the movie. Did he make it up in his head or not? You know that final scene when Sinatra's playing and he's walking through the asylum and he's got blood on the bottom of his shoes. So he obviously just killed the psychiatrist. He obviously just did that. That was real. And maybe him running away is real too. But I don't know what's real and what isn't. Did he even go to the open mics? At this point? He had to. He had to. He had to. I mean, it's still fresh in my mind. So obviously, like, it's I'm having a hard time comprehending things because it's a standalone Joker film. I don't know much about comic books. Todd Phillips, it has been said that he didn't really take a ton of inspiration from other Joker things of past. You know what I mean? And I like that. There's some originality to the character. What else could I talk about with the movie? Okay, he has a little person friend. He has a dwarf friend, and after he murders the guy who snitched and lied, um, the little person friend is in his house, and he's scared he's gonna die too. But then the Joker's like, "You were the only one who was ever nice to me. You can leave. You're safe." That's what I'm talking about, baby. This is why I'm nice to everybody. Yeah, I crack jokes, but come on, they're jokes. I don't mean it. I don't mean any of this. I'm a teddy bear, a sweetheart. I'm nice to everyone. And then we could go. We don't want to get on the topic of. No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I almost lost a couple of you with what I was about to say, but I didn't say it because viewership is rolling in, as we know. What else could we talk about with the Joker movie? Where can they take it from here? You know, where can they take it from here? Is there going to be just this a standalone Joker series? Was just a movie about like backstory maybe? What is there a whole universe that could be created? I want to play a character. Let me play a character in a Batman movie. Let me think. Riddler, you know. I couldn't be the Scarecrow. Couldn't be Batman. Couldn't be the Joker. Mm, I, I'm not short and fat at all. But can I play the Penguin? I mean, how many other villains are there? I couldn't play Doctor Freeze. Let me play. I couldn't play Bane. Couldn't play Catwoman. Let me play the Penguin. I'll hang out with penguins all day for the sake of a film. I'll do it. I don't know. The Riddler, you could play the Riddler, but then there's that risk of just being like, oh, this is just a joke. Because if you play a villain, you kind of want to be taken seriously. Now, could I get into that psychopath mind? Maybe it would take some commitment, some training. I feel like I could. You know, I feel like I could do that. Hmm. I don't know what else to say about the Joker movie. I know I have to fill 15 minutes. I got 3 minutes left. Did you enjoy it? My producer? He did. Nice. Did you enjoy it, audience? You listening in your car or in your Bluetooth speaker in your home? Maybe you're at work and you're listening to this on Apple Music or Spotify and you found the link at Franco's World _ on Twitter and Instagram. All I know is Joaquin Phoenix is back on his stuff. I don't know. It was a really good performance. Not really much else to say. Oh, that bit whenever he's walking up the stairs after he gets his medication, he's walking up the abyss into he's struggling to walk uphill with his sanity. Okay? But whenever he's walking down the stairs, dancing down the stairs and that like that rock riff is rock and roll song or whatever is playing, and he's dancing and jumping in puddles and everything, that's him descending into the madness and just fully embracing, just making a meal out of it. So that's a little filmography trick there for you. People don't think I know things. I know things, okay? There's a reason I didn't do a lot of stuff in college. It's because I was in my room watching things alone, breaking them down from a fundamental standpoint. What any other little? I don't think after that whole uprising after he kills the late night host, I don't think that's real. When he's getting on the car and he's dancing or whatever, and then he's like showing how cool he is? Because if that were real, how did they catch him? Do you know? How did they? Because these crazy people, he was in the back of a cop car, and these crazy people hit him with an ambulance and pulled him out. There's no way that's real because he would have just been out unless he wanted to get caught. Anyways, that'll do it from today's show. It's been fantastic talking to the wall in front of me, and I hope it enjoyed me screaming as much as I enjoyed screaming to it. Thank you very much for listening. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at francosworld_. Tell your friends about the show. It's growing, so you better hop on board. And I am so excited to bring you next week, whenever that may be.